Good morning, children. So, after long holidays, we are back here again. And in the previous class, that is before the holidays, I was teaching you about the evidences of evolution. And we have considered two evidences, that is the homologous organ and analogous organ. And I think so, we have also done the vestigial organs. So three evidences we have completed, that is the homologous organ, analogous organ and vestigial organs. The homologous organs are those organs which have the same origin, they are the similar type of structure, but they are meant for carrying out different type of functions. So it is giving a relationship, that is which organism has evolved from whom. So since the amphibian have that same type of bones here, that is the humerus, radius, ulna, carpals, metacarpals and phalanges, and the same is there in the reptile, and the same is there in the birds, and the same is there in the mammals. So that means they have evolved from the same line of ancestry. So they are called very related organisms. Okay, it is something like that. Like when I was teaching about that homologous organ, I said we have bought a chassis of the truck. Now the chassis of the truck is there. Now it is up to us now whether you want to make a bus, or when you want to make a truck, or what you want to make it the oil tanker or petrol tanker, or a what you call milk tanker, or we want to make it the kachra van, or we want to make it the display van, or we want to make. So we have got various opportunities. That same structure can be modified to carry out the different functions. Similarly, these all organisms are modified in due course of time for the same basic structure plan or same type of origin. So that was the sorry, that was homologous organ. So homologous organs makes us believe that these organisms have evolved from one another. Now on the other hand, when we talk about the analogous organs were those organs which are different origin, different structure, but they were meant for carrying out similar type of function. Origin is different, structure is different, function is same. As what same the transport thing, if we talk about, the people in the olden days, they used to go walking everywhere. Then further they started taming the animals, then they started using these animals for their transport. So instead of walking, they asked these animals to walk and they used to sit on them. Then they built cart. Then they started going in the cart. Then slowly the bicycle is coming to being, and then a steam engine is coming to being, and then discovery of petrol engine and fuel and this internal combustion, and now today we got variety of things. The purpose is same, that is transport. Origin of all these vehicles are different. Now the boats which are used, or the ship which is used in the water is having different origin and different structure, but purpose is same. The same is aeroplane, which is a different origin and different structure. Similarly, the trains which are different origin and different structure. Similarly, the car which are different origin and different structure. Similarly, the work cart which has got different origin, different structure. Same with the horse cart. So and the horse rider and the people who are going walking. So all these are having same function, but they are carrying. So that is suggesting us that they have evolved in the different period of time. Using different set of materials, and there is no direct connection between them. How can be a ship builder be connected to the car builder? The ship has to go on water, the car has to drive on the surface, the ship has a different type of body, car has a different type of body, ship doesn't use wheel, the car is running on the wheels, ship has to walk in float in the water, where the car has to move on the surface. So there are different origin, different structure, but the function is same. Similarly, the butterfly which used to use their wings, and the birds which are also using wings, but the butterfly's wings are actually made from the scales. The butterfly's wings are having not having any bones and feathers in them, but the wings of the birds are having feathers and the bones. So the wings of the birds and the wings of the butterfly are having two different origin, two different type of structure, but they are meant for different, same type of function. So this is suggesting that they have evolved in the different period of time. So that is also emphasizing that the life is not originated in the same time, but they are originated in the different time. Had they originated in the same time, they would have got the same type of structure. So the butterfly should also have this type of humerus, radius, ulna, carpus, metacarpals and phalanges, which is not there. That means butterfly came much before these organs are actually evolved. So that is also emphasizes that the evolution is taking place. Then vestigial organ, as I said, as those organs which were functional in our ancestor but they are of no use in us. Then why are they? They are there because they had an origin, they were functional in our ancestor, like nictitating membrane, like canines, like hair on the chest, like the pinna muscles, okay, and the vulva appendix and the caudal vertebra. So these all were showing that in our ancestor they were functional and they are of no function in us. If you go to buy a car in the market and your budget is not so big, so you see you want to buy an SUV, but the actual cost of the SUV is about 19 lakh rupees. You don't want to spend that much. You may have money, but you don't want to spend just for the sake. What is there? What difference does it make whether the sunroof is there or not there? What difference does it make whether the wiper is there in the back or not there? Because we in India is not having that much of rain. We have got only 2 months rain or hardly 10 good rains. So then why we have to spend that? What is the need of a cigarette lighter when we are not smoking? What is so difficult if we bring the window up and down using hand instead of motor? So what we can do is we can little bit compromise. What is required is that the car should be there and the safety instrument should be there. That is, it should have airbag, it should have all the braking devices and all other things, other safety issues which is required, that is there. What we don't need is sunroof, we don't need is the wiper at the back, we maybe not need such a good music system. What is the need of such a big music system? You got all music in your mobile, you connect it with a good type of speakers which you can get from the market. So what we can bring down the budget to low. So when we buy the same car of the lower budget, in place of back wiper we will got a mark there, a rubber thing. In case of fog lamp there will be a flap there. In place of music system there will be a flap there. So these flaps are indicating that there was something. These flaps are indicating that there was something in our ancestors who had better design. They had nictitating membrane, they had pinna muscles, they had the whole body covered with hair, they had long tail, they had vermiform appendix in which the cellulodiestic microbes used to live. So these are suggesting that we have evolved from those type of organisms. So when we talk about the nictitating membrane, it is connecting our origin right from the pisces, the fish which are living in the water. They require nictitating membrane. The mammals who are living, or especially human beings who are living on land, what is the need of nictitating membrane? When we talk about the pinna muscle, we have to very much clear that pinna were present only in the mammals, but in all other mammals there the muscles used to be used to move the pinna, but we human beings do not require movement in the pinna. Okay? So this is how the relationship can be understood. Now the fourth evidence is fossil, one of the most important evidence. Fossils. Now what are fossils? Fossils are the remains of the past. Fossils are the remains of the past. That is, in our past, what type of organisms were they existing? How will we know? What type of organisms were there? There are so many organisms which have got extinct, which were existing sometime in the past, but which are no more there. How we come to know? How we come to know that the dinosaurs were there? How we come to know about several different type of organisms like Archaeopteryx was there existing in the past? So we came to know about them by study of fossils. by study of fossils. Now fossils can, fossils are the remains of past. How? Where are these remains found? These remains can be found in the iceberg of ice. These remains can be found in the rocks. These remains can be found in the organic waste. These remains can be found in ashes which are buried. Okay? So these are some of the places where these remains are found. These remains can be found in the form of whole body or in the form of their structure or in the form of their impressions or in the form of their skeletons or in the form of their eggs, etc. Okay? Now, when you see whole body or when you see their impression or when you see their skeleton or when you see their structure or when you see their eggs, how can you deny? How can you deny when you see a skeleton of such a huge organism like dinosaur? You cannot say that some organism in the past, some human being in the past have made them and buried them under the soil. So that means they were existing. So by the study of these fossils, we come to know that which kind of organisms they were, what type of structure they had, which category they were belong to. And many of those fossils are even the link between different groups. Say for example, Archaeopteryx. This is linking avians with reptiles. They had some of the features similar to that of the reptiles and some of the features similar to that of the birds. So fossils are realities, fossils are truth, fossils are physically available to us, so we cannot avoid them. Suppose there is some construction going on. Suppose there is a land which is occupied by some mall. Some people who want to construct a mall. So in order to construct a mall, they had to dig up to 50 feet or 60 feet at the depth. So they bought all those machines, earth movers, and they started digging. And when they dig, they come across some of the skeleton, some of the eggs, or some sort of impressions only. Okay? Sometimes the structure, a rock is broken, but if a huge rock was there, the rock is broken and you will find there's some body structure there. But neither the skeleton is there, no body is there, but it was hollow from inside. Now how can a rock be hollow from inside? That means when the rock was forming, at that time some body was remained there. And in due course of time it is decomposed, metamorphized, and now only the structure is left, or sometimes whole body. Suppose some people goes to any of the Western countries, say for example Switzerland, and they just want to go to ski. So they just took their equipments and they just walked onto some of the hill where they just want to do the skiing. Although on their national TVs and the radios it is announced that the weather is not going to be good for next 5 days, so please don't go for skiing. But the people who are gone, now they can't they said we have to come only for the 5 days and we have to come only for skiing, and just because of the warning is there, will not go, it can't be, money will go. So they just went to the skiing without telling anyone, because if they will tell someone, they will be caught and they will not be allowed to. So they found some way and they went there. And suppose they were just playing there and all of a sudden the snowfall started. And heavy snowfall. And snow started covering their body. So all the people lie buried in the ice. And the snowfall was there for continuously for 5 days. And in due course of time, the whole ice is changed into a glacier covering the mountain. No such snowfall was observed in the past so many years. Up say for example, 100 years, 1000 years, 10,000 years later, when this ice will melt, these bodies will come out from there intact, that will not be decomposed because there are no microorganisms surviving the so low temperature, minus 30, minus 40, minus 70 degrees Celsius in the glaciers. So the body will remain as it is, the clothes will remain as it is, the things whatever they got in their body will remain as it is. As such, when you are going for the skis, you will be using all the man-made fibers, nylon or polyester or other things, so that the acid doesn't decompose. So the body will remain in the same form 100, 200, 1000, 2000, 5000 years later also these bodies will be recovered in the same form. Now this was an imaginary example, but such examples happened in the past. So sometime when the ice melts, or sometime when we excavate, or sometime when we dig, or sometime we what you call that avalanche, where we have to break open these ice, sometimes we get skeletons there, sometimes we get fossils there. So these fossils help us to know that what type of organisms were existing in the past. So by the study of fossils, now another example how the fossils are formed. Say for example, there is a river flowing. At the bank of the river there are some animals. Say there are some leaves, some other animals, some birds. So these were there, and suddenly the flood comes, and these animals doesn't get any chance to survive. And the flood, when comes, it brings lot of mud. So these animals, these plants, these birds, these organisms are covered by a thick layer of mud. Year after year this happens. Since this place was not required or used by human being, no one is removing that mud. Year after year mud is coming, and because of the excessive pressure exerted by the mud of the top layer, the body squeezes, all the liquid come out, and the only solid structure is remain trapped into the mud. Over a period of time this mud changes into sedimentary rocks, and when we have started digging the same place for making mall or to make road or to make some other things, we come across such type of fossil. सोच लीजिए हमको 2000 साल चलने वाला राम मंदिर चाहिए. So we had to dig it very deep, and we came to know that some 200 feet below the level in the Ayodhya there is some river flowing. So you had to make a foundation strong enough to suppose we start digging, and we may get a lot of such fossils. Now fossils in the different depth, the fossils at the lowest depth will be having different type of organisms. In the different depth you will get different type of organisms, because this layer must have formed, say for example 5000 years ago, this must have formed some 2000 years ago, this must have formed some 500 years ago, this must have formed only 50 years ago. So you will find 5000 years ago what type of organisms were there, 2000 years ago what type of organisms was existing there, 500 years ago what type of organisms were there, and in the last 50 years what type of organisms were there. So many of those organisms which may not be found, or many of those organisms which we found, we see today, the horse and what elephant, what we see today, some years ago they were of entirely different type. The horse used to be some similar to that of the today's dog. They used to have fingers, ducts in their legs, and today's horse we see their hooves are there, and today's horse we see quite big, bigger than that is around 5.5, 6 feet. And today's horse we find that the teeth are small, and that time horse was, and today's horse are hair, and that time horse. The elephant, which is supposed to be developed from mammoth, the mammoth used to look short, body is covered by thick hair, okay? And from that to today's elephant. So we have got the links of those stages, chronological development of the various organism in due course of time. So fossil help us to know that. Fossils of Archaeopteryx help us to know how reptile-like organisms have evolved into birds. Fossils of several other organisms which help us to know how fish-like organisms are changed into amphibian. Fossils, and most importantly, we can even come to know the age. How we come to know age? There is a science called radioactivity, and in that science physics branch radioactivity, and in that we come to know that the radioactive substance have a half-life period, and by the half-life period of the radioactive substance we can even age. So that is called radioactive dating. So by radioactive dating we can come to know that which type of organism existed when and how they are modified, how today kind of species have evolved from those type of organisms. Or many organisms were totally got extinct. They were existing in the past but not existing today like all the what you call dinosaurs are there. Okay? So this help us to know about the organisms of past, and this is the most important evidence of evolution. Most important evidence of organic evolution, which tells us that how organisms have evolved from one organism to another by radioactive dating, by the fossils from the different depth. We come to know that how they have evolved from one another. By radioactive dating or by the study of these structures, we come to know that what type of organisms were existing in the past. Ice का मैंने बता ही दिया आपको. Rocks, how they are formed. Organic waste, you have seen, all of you must have seen that movie Jurassic Park. How a mosquito was sitting and the gum from a plant fell and that mosquito remained trapped in that. Now gum will remain as a gum for years because it is not decomposing substance. Ash, several places where the volcanoes are very common. Italy. People were sitting in their buildings like this, not this type of buildings. Years ago when the buildings used to be a simple building, and people were living in the building, and they were having, eating, drinking, having. That time people knew about the volcano, but they never had any other option where they'll go. So they were there only, and suddenly a volcano erupts, and when the volcano erupts, a huge lava comes, flows into the forest and into the hills and in the other places, and it burns whatever comes across them. So all the trees, all the forest that used to burn, and lot of ash is formed, and the ash enters into all the houses, buildings and all. That time the windows were not so strongly sealing one. So that used to enter into their houses. So people who were sitting, people who were sleeping, they were slowly covered by the ashes. And since those were the houses used to, in which the roofs used to be made of the wood and all, that all also burned, and that also again covered them. Years after years this process repeated. Now once the volcano erupts, it remains active for several years. So nobody goes there. And since the body is so much that entire body that vaporizes, only the skeleton remains. After so many years, year after year, the ashes are covered. After so many years, when we excavate those places, we get fossils. Fossils of people sitting on their table. Fossils of people sleeping on their floors. Fossils of the people who are in the different poses. So, similarly, the animals are also there. So by study of these fossils, we come to know that what type of organisms used to exist in the past and what was the relationship between them. What is those organisms which are seen today were existing at that time, or those organisms which were existing in that time are existing today, or if they are existing, are they in the same form, or have they been evolved, or they have been changed over a period of time. All these are helped by study of fossils, and that is why fossil is one of the most important tool of study of evolution. So none of the religious books talk about these dinosaurs. None of the religious books talk about the Archaeopteryx. None of the religious books talk about those things. So if they were there, because we cannot deny when the skeleton is there, how can we deny? When the eggs are found, such big eggs, no other birds, no other animals which are there, which lay such big eggs, where these eggs have come from. Sometimes the whole body is covered. So the evidence is evidence, and these are the strongest evidence. So fossils cannot be denied. Fossils are the most strongest evidences, and the reason for their best evidence is because we can physically see them, and we can find out the date, we can find the chronological development, and we can even argue that what type of organisms must have developed into what, and what type of organism must have got extinct. So that is why fossils are considered to be the best evidence. That's all for today, children. Thank you.